Hello, hello, my dear students. Are you there? Let me know on chat. I hope you're relaxed after the weekend and getting ready for Easter. You helped your parents with the preparations. So, uh, okay, I can see some people. Yes, Monica, Ola. I think it's Adam. You remember that I need you. You remember that I need your names as Rochu. Okay, Rochu, Mateusz. I need your names now because since the 25th of March, we have to mark your attendance, and especially when the lessons are like these, your attendance is marked via participation in such lessons. Okay, so I can see that some more people are joining us. So I think we can start. It's 5 minutes after the time anyway. So today we are going to talk about indirect questions. And do you have any ideas what it is? Or maybe I will just ask like this. Do you have any idea what the indirect questions are? And in fact, my last question was an example of an indirect question. So when do we use them? And do we use them in everyday speech? In fact, they are very, very, very common. And we use them every day, especially in polite conversations or when we talk to people and we want to sound polite. And I believe that we often want to sound polite. Moreover, we use them in formal contexts. So, for example, of course, when you meet the passerby in the street and you don't have your phone, you don't have your watch, you could ask the question, "What time is it?" or "Excuse me, what time is it?" But that would be an example of the direct question. But if you really ask an older passerby or somebody you feel respect to, you would probably ask the question, "Excuse me, could you tell me what time it is?" And in this way, you sound more polite. And in fact, that was another example of indirect speech. So let me show you some more examples. Okay. Okay. So, sorry for that technical break for a second. And here you have a few examples of indirect questions. And here we have the typical beginnings, like "Tell me," "I want to know," "Could you tell me," "Do you know," "I wonder," I'm thinking. Have you any idea? I don't know. Do you happen to know? Uh, so let's have a look at this example. Did you enjoy your holidays? Just typical question. Did you enjoy your holidays? And of course, you could walk to your friend and just ask the question, did you enjoy your holidays? But if you, for example, wanted to ask the question to your teacher, let's say, or the colleague from work that you have a formal relationship with, you would be more likely to start the questions with the beginnings, like in that green table, like, tell me, I want to know, can you tell me, and so on. And how do we make such an indirect question? So we take that beginning, any of that green box, yes. Then, if we have no question word, like in the case of this question here, did you enjoy your holidays? We add if, so after this beginning, tell me, I want to know, and so on, we add if, then we have the subject and the verb. So let's look at our example. I'd like to know, that's our beginning. Now, if, now, subject, and look at the form of the verb. Here we had the sentence in past simple. We do not change the tense. The tense is exactly the same. But of course, we make this sentence after if, we make the sentence affirmative, positive. Thus, the verb enjoy has the ending ed. So I'd like to know if you enjoyed your holidays. So following that example, let's do a couple more examples. Can you repeat it? She wants to know. And now, of course, we have our if. Now, after if, we have the subject. So she wants to know if I can repeat it. So she wants to know if I can repeat it. So we have the subject and we have the verb, can repeat, including our modal verb. Let's have a look at another example. Will you visit me soon? Could you tell me? Again, no question word, so we use if. Now, you, yes, will you visit me soon? Can you tell me, czy mnie wkrótce odwiedzisz? Can you tell me if you? And we just follow the same example. Verb, visit me soon. So now I wonder if you could do another two examples, sentence 3 and sentence 4. I'm looking forward to your answers on chat, of course. Okay. Yes, Mikołaj, I can see that you're late. So now look at the task. Yes, I'm still waiting for your answers. So, any ideas on the chat? If you have got my books. Yes, Mikołaj, well done. Of course, if you have got my books. So, do you often go swimming? I don't know. if, of course, if you often go swimming. And now let's have a look maybe at sentence number 8. Was she sitting when you enter? The policeman asks, yes, Michał, Monica, yes, okay, well done. So now look at sentence number 8. If she was sitting, yes, Mikołaj, I can see that you are very active, which makes me happy. Of course, if she was sitting. Okay, when you entered. Good. So now have a look at number 9. I wonder if you know how to make this sentence correct. How to do this sentence correctly. So of course, if, no doubts. Yes, Ola, yes, of course, if he smokes. So I just wanted to focus. Smokes. Yes, I just wanted to focus your attention to that S that Ola added, because we have, if we make the sentence positive, after he, of course, we have to add S to the verb. So now let's move on to the last example from that group. Did they bury him in front of church? Tell me, of course, if. And I'm waiting for your answers. Remember, after if we have positive sentence, affirmative. Okay. Yes, Mikołaj, of course, if they buried who is Aneta Zetpe? Anta Z. Antek, okay. Antek and Rochu, of course, you're absolutely right. If they, okay, that was my spelling mistake. If they buried him. Yeah, so again, I just wanted to emphasize the fact that we make the positive sentence without changing the tense. So now, let's see what happens when we have indirect questions, but the ones that have the question word, like what, when, where, and so on. So the idea is exactly the same. So we have that indirect beginning, like tell me, I want to know, and so on. After that, we have we use the question word. So, for example, what, when, where, why, how often, how much, which, whatever the question word we have. And again, after the question word, we follow the order of the typical affirmative statement. So, after the question word, we have the subject, yes, and the verb. It's as easy as that. So, let's have a look at our example. How far did she swim? I'd like to know, it's our indirect beginning, I'd like to know. Now we have the question word, how, or in fact here, how far, and the affirmative sentence, subject, and the verb in past simple, as the question itself was in past simple. So let's have a look at the first example. How many times have you seen a ghost? Tell me. And now the question word, so how many times, the subject, you, and the verb have seen a ghost. And now I would like also to focus your attention on the punctuation. Look, in this sentence, I put a full stop at the end. Yes, a full stop. And here I will also put a full stop. What are you showing them? She asks, question, what, you, and now the verb, what you are showing them. And again, the full stop at the end. But if I go to example number 4, what would you like to drink? And if I start the sentence like, could you tell me what, of course, subject, and now the verb, we have would like form. So could you tell me what you would like to drink? And now at the end, I will put the question mark. And why? The answer is simple. Look, because the beginning of that indirect question has also the form of the question, while here the beginning of the indirect question was the sentence, the affirmative sentence. The same here. She asks, tell me. Here we start the indirect question as a sentence. That's why we put the full stop at the end. While here, if we start, could you tell me, we start it as the question, thus at the end we have the question mark. So now, could you please complete sentence number 5? Again, I'm waiting for your responses on chat. Of course, your participation will be marked with pluses in the register, and 5 pluses will make a 5. So active participation is welcome. And so far, Ola, Mikołaj, and Michał seem to be the most active people. Okay, have you any idea when you had, when you had, yes, it's going to be when you had, Szymon, because the sentence is in the past. But yes, have you any idea when, of course, as you suggested, when you had, when you had to change, yes, have you an idea when you had to change flats? And now my question is, what about the punctuation mark at the end? Is it going to be a full stop, like here? Okay, full stop. Or is it going to be the question mark? So what do you suggest? Yes, Mateusz, question mark. Exactly, there will be the question mark, of course. So now, let's do number 6. Who are you talking to? I'm thinking and I'm waiting for your answers. Who you are talking to? Yes, so the topic seems to be very easy to you, which makes me happy. Who you are talking to. All right, and of course the full stop at the end. So now let's do example number 10. Example number 10, and it will be our last example from this worksheet. Yes, okay, where he studied. Yes, tell me where he studied. Well done. Where he studied? Yes, Szymon, Monika, Miłosz. Okay, yes. So I see. It seems that some of you are definitely much more active than the others, but it's good. All right, so here we had some examples. Of course, I wanted to tell you that this worksheet will be attached to the message that you will get today on your Librus. And now we are going to do a couple more exercises together. And a really good website, I can recommend this definitely for your self-studying. But we are going to do a few examples together, and you will also find the link in the message I will send you today. So I don't know the answer. How many times? And now I'm waiting for your suggestions. Okay, so which answer do you suggest? Be careful here because you have direct and indirect questions here. You suggest I have. Be careful. Okay, but as you marked, be open-minded now. So, what about number 2? I don't know. Just write 1, 2, 3 to make it faster. write me the number and I will choose it. Miłosz suggests number 2. Okay, and it seems that you suggest number 2. Okay. What about number 3? Mm-hmm. 232, 232. What shall I choose? I will choose. Okay, I have the even number. I think that most of you chose number 2. That's what I will mark. I'm not saying if it's correct or not now. What about number 4? How many people you suggest number 3? Okay. So, sentence number 5. I wonder, sentence number 5. I wonder Okay, Shimon has responded. Okay, you suggest number 3. Number 6. Did she tell you how often? Nie widać. Okay. Okay, I will put it up. Okay. Yes, I can see that now. Sorry about that. So, look at number 6 and let's start again. So, what about number 6? Did she tell you how often? Okay, again, you suggest number 3. So, let's go to number 7. I'd like to know, and again, I would like to show you something that instead of if, we can of course use the word whether. WH, whether. The same meaning as if. Okay, again, I have 2 suggestions for number 3. 1. Yes, Monica suggests number 3. But now I have quite a lot of 1s. So I would go for 1. Let's go to number 8. Could you tell me why? Could you tell me why? Okay, a lot of 1s. Okay. Now, Can I ask you how long? Can I ask you how long? Okay, once. Okay. And the last one. Why? Okay, Dominic, I'm glad you decided to participate in the lesson. Okay, so the answer to number 10 is 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, now, my dear students, let's check your answers and discuss why some of them are not right. So, as you can see, our score is 60%. So it's a good 3, but I think that we are all aiming at 6. So let's have a look at number 1. I don't know the answer, and as you can see, correct answer is how many times do I have? Because this is a direct question, right? Zwykłe pytanie. Just a direct questions. How many times do I have to? So we just, in the direct question, of course, we have auxiliary, do, subject and have, right? Now, number 2 was correct. It was indirect question. Now, let's have, I'm sorry, have a look at number 3, and I will have a sip of water. Number 3 was incorrect. Why? Because this was indirect question. And in indirect questions, after the question word, so after when, we should have the subject, right? So the results, and then the verb will be published. Number 4, again, number 4 we marked as incorrect one, because again it was the direct questions, how many people. So when we have direct question, czyli pytanie bezpośrednie, we just use auxiliary verb, did, yes, then subject, you, and then the verb, call. So that was a typical question in past simple. Okay? And number 5 was correct. It was indirect question because it started with I wonder. Number 6, did she tell you? Again, it was indirect question, so you did it right. Number 7, again, it was indirect question, so you did it right. Number 8, it was indirect question, could you tell me? So again, you did it right. Number 9, it was indirect question, can I ask you? So again, you did it right. Number 10, my dear students, again, it was a direct question. So, indirect question, after the question word, we should have auxiliary verb, so should or shouldn't in that case, subject, I, and then the verb call. So it seems that you have some idea how to make indirect questions, but you have to be more open-minded, as not all the questions are direct and not all the questions are indirect. So when I give you some exercises as your homework in the message that will follow this lesson, please be careful, as some of the questions will be direct, some of them will be indirect. So bear that in mind, and thank you for today. So, thank you and see you next time.